Hi guys, this is Jackie Cooper from JCooperTravels, and today I have a really special guest that I'm excited to have with me. Shawn Hill is here, and we've been talking offline before we've gotten onto the podcast, and he really has a lot of wisdom and insight on to help individuals who are struggling in this current job market. And he has also a lot of opportunities to help you craft both, your resume, your LinkedIn, and every way that you can possibly think of to network with your business professional community. Shawn, thank you so much for being here. Would you help out the listeners by actually telling them more about how you got involved and the focus of your business, and just how they could reach out to you.
Absolutely, Jackie. Well, thank you for having me on first, and what an honor to be here with you and to share this information with your wonderful audience. So, my name is Shawn Hill, and I've been in corporate America for I would say over 20 years, probably about 25 years, and but I've always had just an entrepreneurial just mindset, and always wanted to kind of do things on my own as well. And so one of the people that I often listen to, his name is Gary V. Now, hopefully your audience knows him, maybe Gary Vaynerchuk if they don't, but he's really one of these smart business guys. And I was listening to one of his podcasts, and he was saying that there are two platforms you need to be on. One is TikTok, and one is LinkedIn. Well, I said, you know what? Hey, if Gary said it, he's successful. So success leaves clues. So guess what? I'm going to go on both of them. Well, at the time I had a limited phone, so I tried to sign up for TikTok and I couldn't get it. I couldn't even download it for some reason because I didn't have enough memory. And so my wife told me that was a sign from the universe that I didn't need to be on there with all those kids. And so I said, okay, well, at least I know LinkedIn because I have an account over there. I've had one over there for years. It just hadn't messed with it. You know, how back in the day you set one up and you just never go back to it, right? So I said, well, okay, that means I should just focus on LinkedIn. And so I went back over to LinkedIn and I did the research and I was upgrading my profile and just seeing how the things were playing and things like that. And as I was doing that and meeting people and networking with people, I just noticed that a lot of people were making the same mistakes that I had made. You know, and I said, wow, there's got to be a market for this, you know. And sometimes when you don't have the service, you can't find the service, that means you need to create the service. And so I said, you know what? I'm just going to reach out to people and see if I may be able to help them with their LinkedIn profile. And so I did that. I started reaching out to people, giving them some tips and suggestions, and saying, if you want to do this yourself, that's fine. But if you want me to help you, this is what I charge. And amazingly, a lot, I won't say amazingly, but it's nice that a lot of people started saying, yeah, I don't have time to really deal with it. I don't have time to do all the research and figure it out. Look, guy, if you've already figured it out, just go ahead and let me work with you and cut all the research that they would have to do. And so I started working with individuals, usually with small business owners at that time, and it went real well. I was very successful with that, and I just when the virus hit and so many people were unemployed, it just really moved my heart that I should just shift my business, pivot my business, and really start helping more job seekers because a lot of small business owners, unfortunately, at that time, were really struggling. So they didn't really have the opportunity or the bandwidth to really do that as much anymore. And so job seekers at that point really needed my service. And so that's how I got into where I've pivoted now to where I actually created a course called the Job Search Advantage that actually helps job seekers not have to have me, but it's a self-study course. They can go through it, optimize their LinkedIn profile. Not only that, but it gives them a strategy on how to network on LinkedIn, how to go and talk to recruiters and hiring managers. So it's really a complete package. So that's the long answer.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, what what content, how did you, I guess, so many questions are popping into my head right now. With what you're offering, you don't necessarily have to say the price, but
That's
how
okay.
did you decide how to cost it? How did you decide how to really focus the information in there? And is it like a series, or is it does it come with a workbook, or what's involved with the what you're offering?
Absolutely. Well, what I did is I looked at my time and I looked at how much I was charging for, just one-on-one my time to work with some people. And I said, you know what? I really want to be able to help more people. It's $97. I certainly don't have a problem with telling people the price. In fact, I'm kind of proud of the price because when you go to other people that do this, some people for a LinkedIn profile would charge you over 150, even $200 just doing the profile. And so I really didn't want to be at that price range. I want to find a nice even point where people could still afford it, right? But then it wasn't taking up my time because if you have me one-on-one, I have to bill you for my time. That's just business.
Yeah.
And so I say, look, if I can do a self-study course that people can use at their own pace and at their own time, I can price it at a price point that I believe is going to be successful for them. And so I think that's how I came to the pricing. What's all included is 25 different videos that takes you step by step, video by video, to show you how to optimize a profile. See, a lot of people don't understand there's a difference between an optimized profile and an updated profile, right? So a lot of people will lose a job and then they'll just go on to LinkedIn and say, okay, well, I'm just going to update it with my latest job and I should be good. No, that's just not how it works. You need it optimized because LinkedIn is very good, but it's very nuanced as well, right? So if we were looking at Facebook or even Instagram, uh, your profile is not the main push, right? So on Facebook, it's what you post. So your posts get more traction. On Instagram, it's the pictures or the pictures that you post or the video that you post. So your profile on those platforms is really pretty inconsequential. It's not that big a deal. On LinkedIn, however, it's really just the reverse, right? So you could actually, and I encourage people to post on LinkedIn if they want to, and that's good, and they should, to get their thoughts out there. But the main networking is your profile. It's like being at a networking event. It doesn't matter so much what I wrote, what articles I've written at the networking event. If I'm just now meeting Jackie, we're just going to talk and I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. You're going to tell me about you. And we judge each other by kind of our conversation.
Right.
So LinkedIn is more conversational and rapport building. And so that's really what makes it different. And that's why it's nuanced. A lot of people think it's hard. It's really not hard. It's just very nuanced. And what will work on other platforms just won't work over here.
What I love when I was listening to you describe everything is the thought structure that you use to figure out your price point.
Mhm.
And the reason why I love that is both as an entrepreneur as well as someone who has a traditional job as a teacher, but also as an entrepreneur. A lot of times we don't know the value of our time.
Mhm.
We don't
Yes.
always set the value of our time properly. And you went through everything in your mind as to how you were thinking about both your personal one-on-one time and the value for that, as well as stepping back and thinking, okay, you still have value in the content that you've gathered and created, and how can you then share that with others. So I mean, just listening to how you put the whole process together, I think is a really great lesson for others in terms of like when they definitely they should contact you for the skills and the lessons that you're going to share with them. But they, even after they get a traditional job with your help, I often try to encourage individuals to think about having a side profession like I do,
Absolutely.
to have alternative incomes, or because that way then you have choices and options,
Yes.
because that is something that I think that we've all learned with the COVID situation is Some individuals didn't have the option, didn't create a backup plan, and that has left a lot of individuals upended. And so the what you're doing is such an invaluable service to create the stability that we all need financially. And then once everyone, who's contacted you and found that stability with a new job, I would then suggest think the next step, and how can you use some of the extra time that you have during your day to
Mm-hmm.
start a business, because you can watch TV 7 days a week, or
Yeah.
you can take 2 or 3 of those nights and start a business and still have enough time for your family, but create a residual. And by
Mm-hmm.
doing something consistently, whether it's exercise consistently or whether it's building a business consistently, in the long run, you'll have something which you'll be able to look back on and say, I'm glad I started. So for those that are not familiar with podcasts or the YouTube, there's always a block of information above the podcast and above the YouTube. I will have direct contact information on the podcast side, so you can reach out to Shawn. On the YouTube side, I'm going to ask everyone who's listening to go and subscribe. It
Yes.
doesn't cost anything to subscribe. I need to reach, fully transparent, I need to reach 1,000 subscribers in order for me to put Shawn's link into into our YouTube. So my goal is to get to 1,000 on the YouTube side as fast as possible, so everyone can directly contact Shawn. If you're finding this on the YouTube side and you haven't found this on the podcast side, reach out to me through my email, JCooperTravels@gmail.com, and I will put you directly in contact with Shawn. But if you're listening on the podcast side, that information will be there, and definitely make contact with him. Shawn, as you know, one of my passions is travel.
Yes.
So where have you traveled in the past, and where is a bucket list, a place that you are thinking that you might want to go as we start to move around again?
Absolutely. Well, my wife and I love travel. It's one of our joys. And with COVID, it's sad that that's kind of been taken away to a large degree from us. We're looking at a few different islands that we'd love to explore to see how they are. We watch this program on TV all the time called Caribbean Life, and we just love the islands and the beaches and things like that. So we're looking at Rotan, Curacao, in Panama, oddly enough, we think of the Panama Canal, but we really were looking down there and just it looked really beautiful. So those would be the three places that we're looking to kind of go pretty soon. Hopefully
Yeah.
as things get better.
Well, I know that I follow a lot of the travel blogs, and I know that a lot of the islands are opening up now for the
Okay.
USA. Some of the airlines actually are incorporating COVID testing because of the challenge of the past COVID testing in terms of sometimes they required that you have it within 3 days of flight, things like that. So they're trying to make it easier for people to be able to fly on the air faster and get people to the resorts back and have it be safe. So for sure. The other thing that I'll just share with everyone who's listening, I also have access, and it's totally free, to a wholesale discount platform called I Go for Less, and I will share the discount link, the free link rather, so you can have the discounts. You can actually save up to 35% on all your travels, excursions, and a whole host of other things too. So check out the link. That'll be in the podcast little block. Any last minute thoughts, Shawn, that you would like to share before we sign off?
Well, just a couple of things, really. One, to the job seekers that are out there, I just hope you stay encouraged. You can certainly look at a lot of the media and look at a lot of the news and get very discouraged. But there are a lot of companies hiring, guys. So this is no season to just really get down on yourself and get discouraged. Learn the nuances. Once again, LinkedIn is the best place for you to be looking for a job because of the networking ability. If you go on Indeed or Career Builder, not that those are bad platforms, but you're just going to be a number. On LinkedIn, you actually get to talk to the hiring managers, talk to the recruiters, talk to people, build those relationships. So LinkedIn is just a better platform for you to build those relationships. And as you said, Jackie, I would also encourage you not to wait on the government, not to wait on a job, because who knows when you'll get one. Definitely take this time and explore some other income producing options. And don't be intimidated about guys. Look, I literally created a business out of thin air. I mean, I just did research and talked to people. That's literally what I did. And so you can do that as well. I didn't go to school for it. I don't have any student loans for it. I do have student loans for my job, but that's a whole different. I'm not going to go down that road. But so I was actually able to create finance money working from my home out of thin air. You can do the same thing. So those would be the two things I want to leave your audience with. One, for our job seekers out there, I'm praying for you. Don't be discouraged. Get in the game. This is a great time for you to really push yourself forward, but also don't wait, right? Don't wait for a job. Don't wait for a government stimulus plan. Be your own stimulus. Look into ways where you can create your own income, and I think you're going to be fine. You're going to be very successful.
I agree with that. Yeah, definitely. There are a lot of resources, both from Shawn to myself to others. Reach out to us. We have a lot of connections and we're here to help you. And that's one reason why I started the podcast, J Cooper Travels, because we can travel around the world globally, but we also travel through our careers. We
Mhm.
travel through our life. We travel, on so many different planes and levels. So definitely use the resources. We're here to help you. Reach out. And thank you so much, Shawn. I look forward to our next podcast adventure together, and I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon, Jack. It's been an honor.